Hello, my friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 256 of Why Did I Buy This? I started this series to help crafters find unique ways to use products in their collections as well as things that you might want to add to your collection. My name is Lindsay. I am from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I love crafting. I've been with Stampin Up for over 23 years, and I can honestly say I never get bored. There's always something fun and new and exciting. As you're tuning in, please say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, you can let me know that too. What are you working on in your studio? What are you working on with your craft supplies? I always like to hear what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite color? Go ahead and throw it in the comments. Okay, so Friday, we've had a busy week. We've had a new hot foil system. If you haven't seen it in action or you'd like to see my take on it, be sure to watch episode 255 of Why Did I Buy This? I did a whole episode last week on it. Just go ahead and scroll down to my Facebook page or you can catch it on YouTube. This is a really fun system. I've been having lots and lots of creative time with it. It's amazing. I've had some new demonstrators take advantage of our new starter kit, which allows you to join Stampin' Up! To get a 20% discount on all your craft supplies. You're also going to get a gift certificate in your account. So when you, hi Sharon, when you join Stampin' Up! Here in Canada, you pay $135, but you're going to get a $170 credit in your account. And you're going to get a 20% discount from the moment you log in. The $170 credit will be applied to the retail price, and everything you purchase above and beyond that for the lifetime of your demonstratorship, that's going to give you a minimum 20% discount. It's a great way to get those new products like the hot foil system or any of the things I'm going to be showing you today. Because we have new online exclusives that started in July. So there's some holiday things in there. I already taught one Christmas card class, if you can believe it. I had, there's some fall themed things, some Halloween things. And so I'm going to show you why you're going to want some of these Halloween items. Now, stay with me. I know some of you are saying, I don't make Halloween cards. I get it, but I'm going to show you why you're going to need this. Hi, Natalie. Oh, it's hot in Kelowna, is it? Yeah, I don't doubt that. It's hot here in Edmonton today, too. I think we're going to be up, it's already 28 Celsius, and I think we're hitting the 31 mark maybe today, so a little hot. Hi, Shauna. Happy Friday. Yeah, so a couple of things. So the hot foil system is now live for you to use. If you're a demonstrator, remember that you can access our new catalog PDF 6 weeks early, and you can start ordering from it before anybody else 6 weeks early, starting next week. And so it's a beautiful Christmas catalog. It goes live to everybody else September 1st, and it's available until January 4th. So lots of really, really fun new products there to be able to play with. Gingerbread, yeah, love that. So that's just a heads up if you're a demonstrator. If you'd like to be a demonstrator, remember we have that new starter kit that allows you to apply a gift certificate to whatever order you want. So it's not a pick it now kind of thing and keep it under that level. It's going to be applied to your account. Lots of perks, of course. Okay, the last thing is if you love this series, you love the Why Did I Buy This series, you're going to want to check out the Why Did I Buy This Maker Club. This is a collaboration that I've done with my friend Meg Loven of Loven Stamps. And together we offer a VIP club that you can have your own private Facebook group. We do Why Did I Buy This live for you, and you can watch it live or you can watch the replay. It's only available to our club members. Plus, you get a curated maker box sent to your house with all sorts of product in it for you to play with. These aren't cut into specific projects. I find that lots of times people get overwhelmed if they don't have time to make the project right then and there, then it just sits there. So to accommodate your schedule, these are like 6x6 product samplers that you can use to be able to make whatever you like. And we give you lots of ideas for that. So you'd be signing up now for August. So go ahead and I'll have the links in the comments after the video is done, so you can go ahead and check that out. Okay, let's get started with today's projects. I'm going to do the awkward transition so you can see my hands. Hi, Rita from Ontario. Good to see you. Hi, Donna. Okay, so we're just going to do the little transition here. This is where it likes to do fisheye for some reason on me. Don't know why. You don't need to see all the mess on my counter. It will reveal the surprises. Okay, there we go. You can see my hands. Now, I wanted to show you, we have a new, where did I put it? We have a new product of the month. The product of the month is Unlocked with a $100 Canadian order. And this month, the Begonia Belle two-step stamp set is available for just $7. So place a $100 order before your shipping and tax and after your redeemed rewards, and you will be able to add this to your cart for just $7. I mean, it's hard to get a special latte nowadays for $7. That's a pretty great deal to get a whole stamp set for $7. Love that. All right, so I promised you to tell you why I think you need to add a couple Halloween products to your collection, okay? So I'm gonna start off by showing you a really fun technique, and that is using the Web of Fun dies and stamp set. We're gonna be working with 2 bundles today. So the first one is Web of Fun. So you can see it has this big, bold web. We've got this happy little spider. We've got some words that would be perfect for my scrapbooking friends. And then you can see we've got tags. We've got the ability to cut out and build scenes, and some really, really great words. I love when the words are all connected. So when you cut it out with your die cutting machine, it just cuts out one word that you can add. So I'm gonna bring in a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch paper. This is just our basic white. And we're gonna start off with some blending. Now, when I was chatting with you, you might have noticed in the background, I have blending brushes that are stuck to my cabinet. And after every video, I always get the question of, where did you get those? What are they? I wish I had an affiliate link for them. I really should look into how to do that. But I'll tell you, just on Amazon, it's a 3M cord organizer. So it has 3M tape on the back, and it would hold your cords, your computer cords, your charging cords. It would hold them in place on your desk. But I have found, I've had these stuck there for probably 5 years, and they never fall off. They fit the blending brushes perfectly. They're really affordable. You get a lot in a pack. So if you're interested in how to store your blending brushes up high, that's a great way to go. Okay, so you just noticed I added crisp cantaloupe to the one side with my blending brush, and I'm adding fresh freesia. This is one of my old ones here, to the other side. Now, for those of you who haven't seen, we have new ink pad styles for our in colors, our recent in colors, and that's with a felt pad. I'm looking forward to replacing these in 2027. The rest of our color line is not only being upgraded and reorganized, but we are going to be upgrading our ink pads to the new style. But can you see my old felt, no, this isn't felt, foam pad, and how it's got those little ruts in it? That's specifically from blending brushes. So my blending brushes, when I'm using them in classes, lots of people are using them, and so it can sometimes tear your foam. So that's, the felt is just a little bit more hardy for things like blending brushes. Now I'm being really casual about how I'm adding this color. I'm not being super concerned about it being even. I'm kind of letting it drag over the edges so it's getting a nice dark edge on it. It's definitely related to the style of card I'm about to show you here. So we're just gonna go ahead and make sure we have as much color on as we like. So that looks pretty good to me. I've kind of overlapped the 2 colors there just to kind of blend them out. So fresh freesia and crisp cantaloupe. So now I'll set aside those ink pads, and I'm going to bring in my stamping platform. So you can see I've got a little mat on here that's just keeping my platform clean. And I have organized my stamp so that if I line it up along the grid paper, then it's going to stamp in the right position. I have my 2 strong magnets here. So we're just going to stick one down there and one down here. And then I'm going to bring in the platform. So I've already added my stamp to it. When you have a bigger stamp like this, it is nice to be able to do on the platform like this. And I'm just going to leave it so that it's face up. I'm going to bring in my black ink pad and just ink all the way around. Once I've got it inked up the way I like, I'm going to flip it over. You want the Stampin' Up! Logo to be right side up, and then you're going to give it a press. So I want it just a little bit off the edge of the paper here, and now we've got this beautiful web. So I can set aside my platform, and now we can do this little technique. So with my spritzer, Stampin' Up! Sells spritzers in packs of 2. They're really affordable, and they're a great way to be able to use for techniques. This just has water in it, not alcohol, but water. I want the water to interact with the paper and the ink. Now, I found you can spray it directly on there, but you can also spray it into your hand to get bigger drops. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm just going to flick it onto the paper like that. Now, you'll see already it's starting to interact with the paper, and it's removing some of the ink. So it gives you that splotchy kind of look. This is a great technique if you're trying to build galaxies, right? Because it kind of gives you that look of stars in the background. There's going to be bigger blotches and little blotches, which is really fun. The darker the color, the more you're going to see it. So black, purple, blue, that's going to give you a lot of like it's going to show it a lot. And here you can see in the crisp cantaloupe, it's there as well. So we can go ahead and let that dry. And I wanted to bring in another little die cut from the Web of Funs here. So we have a happy little spider that we've cut out. Isn't that cute? I don't know if you can see the face there. And so I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensional to pop that up and throw it onto the web. This one I'm going to have it facing up. And the other thing that's so cute in our new online exclusives are the adhesive backed ghosts and dots. Okay, if you're like me, you don't see things in detail very well close up anymore, and that's okay. This is just part of our journey. We are here together. But if you put on your readers, you will see that the bats actually have pink lips and pink little ears. It is so stinking cute. I just cannot get over how cute the bats are. So there's bats, and there's ghosts, and then there's black and white dots. And the black and white dots, of course, can be used on any theme project. It doesn't have to be Halloween. But we have to bring in these little dots. So even if you're not a Halloween project maker, I mean, truly just to get these little bats, I feel like somebody should make earrings out of them. Probably somebody has made earrings out of them. They're just so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that onto my project. We've got a couple little bats in the background. I'll throw one down here. Very nice. My daughter loves bats, so this would be a good card for her. Okay, so now we're going to throw on a greeting, and you could do, you know, happy fall. You could do happy Halloween. So I'm going to bring in my second bundle, and this one is called Oh My Fright. So here you can see we've got these cute little, I'm big on cute Halloween, not creepy Halloween. So we've got these cute little guys, and there's all these different greetings. And then there's all of these fun scene builder dies that also cut out the stamp sets. So we have Happy Halloween. I brought in some fresh Freesia cardstock. We're going to ink that up in black and just kind of hug it to the right-hand side. And you've done this before, but we're going to flag the ends. Just cut in the middle, and then from the corner, you're going to match up with your sharp scissors here, and that's going to give you that even flag. So we're going to go ahead and stick that on there. Now, the violets, I think those just came out, or they're coming out. Forgive me, I can't remember. They have this satin ribbon in the collection. You can see it's got the stitched satin ribbon. This is fresh Freesia as well. And so we're going to tie a bow to be able to add behind that layer. So let me bring in my little bow tire, and we're going to do a decent sized bow just so that we have something that we're going to layer it behind our greeting here. So cut just enough ribbon so that we can tie a knot. We're going to switch hands. The one that's on the bottom goes through the pegs at the top. The other one goes through the pegs at the bottom. you're just gonna go ahead and tighten it, right? And you're gonna tie one knot, just one. You don't need to do double knots. And then when you pull it off, you get this nice little ribbon. So this can go behind like that. So we're just gonna see the little loops there. So I'm gonna use some of my Stampin' Seal, that's a stickier adhesive, and we're gonna put that behind like that, and then finish it off with dimensionals. Oh, look I'm getting to the edge of my sheet here. Do you guys use the corner pieces? I like to use it for longer greeting strips. I don't generally make my classes use the edges. I tend to use them myself. Not everybody appreciates them. Tell me if you use them. Okay, so this is gonna go on to the project like so. We're just gonna hug it to the corner. And then we're going to snip on an angle to give a nice finished edge on that ribbon. Okay, here's a little tip for you. We're gonna mat it with black, but I wanted a black tree for another project. So here's a way that you can maximize your cardstock. We're all living on a tighter budget these days, and so this is just a way you can get more out of your paper. So I have a 1/8 inch border, but in the middle I cut out my tree. So you could go ahead and every single mat that you do, you could take out, like, use your stylish shapes dies and just cut out circles or rectangles to be able to not have the middle just be solid cardstock. So we're gonna layer it on here, and when we finish it off, you can see on the crisp cantaloupe, this is what it looks like. So let me know what you think. Do you like those little tiny bats? They're just so cute. I did add a little bit of shimmer with my shimmer brush. When you have a dark color like this, the pink is gonna work like Wink Stella, so you can just add it on top, and you're gonna get that little shimmer on the spider. Okay, why would you make a Halloween card? Why would you do that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. You might have teenage friends, like your nieces, nephews, maybe your neighbors, who are a little too old for candy and trick-or-treating. So maybe you do a little card like this and you throw in a gift card. Maybe you have somebody who watches your dogs for you or takes care of your lawn, and you just want to make their day. You could make them a Halloween card and throw in a little note of thanks. So it's just, I think, taking that step to show people that they matter, that you're thinking about them. It doesn't have to be in the theme of Christmas cards where we send them out to all the people we know. You might just want to make one or two for those special people in your life, right? Let me know if you make Halloween cards or if you'd consider making them. But one thing we do tend to give at Halloween is treats. So let me show you the next project. So we have a couple of options for treat bags. There's this one here, which is the 4x8. So that came out in our newest catalog. And then we had this carryover, the iridescent treat bag. So I believe both of these are still available. You can see one is 4x6 and the other one is 4x8. Is that right? 4x6? Yeah, that looks right. I think so. This isn't, oh yeah, 4x6. So you've got one that's iridescent. And again, these aren't themed Halloween, so you can use them for any project. And then these ones are clear, so it's easy to match them up with whatever. So let's bring back in the Oh My Fright die. So here you can see we've got this beautiful tag, and I've just gone ahead and die cut that from basic white. So we've got a white tag we're gonna work with. So we're gonna build a scene again. Here you can see is that tree that I cut out from the matte piece of our last project. And we're going to bring in a blending brush and some smoky slate. So that's a gray color. So here we're gonna pull in that ink. And again, it doesn't have to be blended in a way that's smooth or perfect. You can be quite fast about it. And so here we can add as much as we want. We kind of want it to look like swirling old cemetery, right? Kind of feeling just like that. Okay, looks pretty good. We're gonna do that technique again. So this time though, I'm just gonna spritz on top of it. So I think I'm just gonna bring in a tray so I don't get water on my paper. So just with an embossing tray, I'm gonna set that down to catch the oversplatter. And you can see I've just given it a little bit of a spray. It's a much finer mist when you spray it directly on as opposed to flicking it on. So you can see in the background there, it's starting to work its magic, which is pretty cool. So, hi Janice, great to see you. You can even bring in your heat tool and kind of speed up the drying time. And if you want, you can even add a little bit by flicking it. So you can see the more saturated the water, the more it's going to pull that ink out. So now I want to add a little bit more to the background. So I have here, this black marker is one that I use a lot for splattering. So I'm not concerned about the tip of the marker. It's sort of been one that I've had in my collection for a long, long time. So I'm just going to use the tip of my lid to act as a little tool to splatter like that. You can use your ink refills and a water painter if you didn't want to risk the tip of your marker, but that marker is kind of dedicated to that. I also have a little palette and I brought in my Golden Glow shimmer brush, and so I have this little puddle that I've created. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of swish it around so it's on my brush. We've got my brush loaded, and now we're going to just tap it into the background, and it's going to add that little Golden Glow splatter like that. So I love being able to use my shimmer brushes to create those kinds of backgrounds. Doesn't that look cool? Yeah, I'm gonna heat dry it quickly. I flipped it over because when paper, there we go. When paper is drying, the fibers stretch when they're wet, and then they dry and shorten when they're drying. And so that's why it can curl. So if you flip it over, it kind of helps it to flatten out because it helps to even out how it's drying. Okay, so we've got the tag background. And now we're going to start building the scene. So I have cut out from, we've got this new designer series paper. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and it's shimmery. It's got like these glittery lines in it. Can you see that? And so with the dies from the Oh My Fright collection, I've cut out the little ghost. So I'm going to bring in my pool party, finally making an appearance. And I'm going to use my blending brush, just a little one this time. And you know that technique we do where we add pool party to the outside of a white image when we're coloring to kind of give it the feeling of dimension? So that's sort of what we're doing. Yes, we're going to leave our ghost white, but we're just adding a little bit of pool party texture to it. So now I want to add a little bit of a black behind here. And so I'm going to just bring in a piece, and I'm going to cut off a little chunk like that. We're going to make sure it fits the width. Yes, beautiful. And now I'm going to use my glue to create the space behind to be dark so that the face of the ghost shows up a little better. So give that a minute to grab. And now I'll bring in my little raggedy edges here, and we'll just throw a piece on the back of the ghost. Okay, so that's all ready to go. We're also going to add this tree, and I'm going to do that with my glue as well. I'm going to show you on the next project, yes, I have 3 today, how you can add your more detailed dies like this without having to get glue on your fingers. Okay, so stay tuned. So flip this over and bring in our tag, and we're gonna set that down to the side. I love this creepy old tree. And now we can add our little ghost. See how the face shows the dark that we added behind it? So this is gonna go here on the tree. And then because we have a ghost, we can't not use these cutie patootie little ghost embellishments. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of those. So we have one flying above with his friend, and then another one down here. So much fun. Okay, so the first way you can add on detailed dies and not get glue on your fingers is by bringing in your foam adhesive sheets. So these are large sheets that are one giant dimensional. And then you can put it onto your cardstock and die cut out that image. And then you are able to get a boo-shaped image, okay? So this is going to go down in the corner. Now you see how I've left the little inside pieces there. We're gonna use our take your pick tool and we're gonna pull those out. So just grab them and remove them out. This one lost its backing. I just find it's a little bit easier than trying to remove those tiny little pieces before you stick it down. And then we've got a little piece here and a little piece here. There we go. So now we've got the boo in the corner. So we're gonna bring in our golden glow and we're gonna tie a bow. So if you don't have a bow tire, the easiest way to tie a bow is to do it while it's still attached to the roll. And the biggest thing is how you pull it tight. So you want it to not be crumpled or crossed over before you tighten it. And a nice bow is all about how you finish it. So you'll notice I'm fussing with it a little bit, and that's because it's that fussing that gives you that shape that we associate with a clean and nice looking bow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that off. And then we're gonna use a mini glue dot, another one of our adhesive, specialty adhesive products. So we're gonna pick up the little glue dot and stick that onto our, oh, it didn't pick it up. Where'd you go? This one is being stubborn. Let's try again. Okay, like that. Very nice. Okay, so for this particular one, I brought in that iridescent bag, the 4x6 ones, and I just added a couple of my favorite chocolates in there. And then I used some of the Designer Series paper. Now this paper is so cute. So again, if you're like, I don't make enough that I want to invest in the bundles, but you do want to have a little bit of a Halloween themed something, this paper is worth it. Okay, I have to show you. I should have left this for last because it really is the sweetest little one. But look at these cute little kittens. So it doesn't have to be a Halloween themed card. You could just fussy cut out the little kittens for some of the cat lovers in your life. Here you can see we've got the stars and then we've got the ghosts. That's what I have on the top right here. We've got our trees with some of the swirls. Let me see what else I've got in here. Another one of the swirls, but in our orange. And then we're gonna flip that and you're gonna get more scenes there. And then we've got our webs and our ghosts. So really, really, really cute paper. That, you know, our paper is, I think, $17 or $18. So it's really affordable way to be able to add the Halloween theme into it. But isn't that a cute little project? I mean, who wouldn't love to see this on their desk at work or popped into somebody's mailbox or even just for the special kiddos that come by? I'm not saying make this for every kid that comes to your door at Halloween, but this is definitely like, you know, the special kids that come by. Okay, one last thing I'm going to show you here. Another one of our candy favors. So this time I went a little bit non-traditional in the color. So I brought in a Barely Blush tag. And here we're going to build a scene on that as well. So once again, using these Web of Fun dies, I've die cut out this one here. So here's the second way that you're going to be able to add these very detailed, delicate dyes to your projects without getting glue on your fingers. We like ink on our fingers, not so much the glue, okay? So I don't know if you can tell in the background, but there are some pieces that are just white, and then there are some pieces that are sort of ivory. What I did is prior to die cutting it, I brought in my adhesive sheets and I cut it to size to put a strip on, and then I stuck it onto my paper. So this is that specialty paper again. And then I die cut it out. So now it is actually a die cut sticker. So let's go ahead and peel off. And this is what I love about the adhesive sheets too. It tends to pull out most of those bits that we struggle to get out of the project. So you can see there's just two little pieces there, and we can grab these little ones here. So now we have this sticky web that we can add on. And I only put it in the middle because I want the edges to kind of stick off here. So on my project I'm about to show you, I actually cut off some of it, but I'll just leave it for now and see how I like it. Okay, next up we have, not only do we need a spider web, we need to have a spider. So you can see I use that same glittery paper. But before we stick it on, we're going to bring in our blending brush, and we're going to use our black ink. And now we're going to go over top of it, and it's going to dye that paper. So the beauty of this specialty paper is that you have the ability to dye it any one of your Stampin' Up! Colors. So again, maybe Halloween isn't your thing, but this paper is gorgeous, and you're gonna want it for your Christmas projects as well. Okay, so here we've got our cute little guy, and we're gonna add that on with some of our strips of dimensionals here. And so probably a piece about like that. Kathy, you love this Halloween suite. Yeah, it's cute, right? Oh, maybe we were a little ambitious. There we go. The spider's not as big as I thought. So we're going to peel that off. And now our spider is going to stick onto our project right here. Okay, the last piece, again, working with that theory of no gooey fingers, is I've put that adhesive sheet on. This is coming from the Web of Fun. I want to say Web of Lies. No, Web of Fun. April says, yeah, putting the adhesive in the middle, right? Because then you don't have to think about the edges here. So that's really good. Okay, so here I've gone ahead and die cut the Halloween. And the nice thing is you could go ahead and just cut it here or put a fun scene here and have the Halloween in the bottom. I would just hold on to this piece, right? And then your little in between your A, like that. So even look at the background, how you've got the color coming through. Like think about how if you did that technique I just showed with the blending and the spritzing, how that would look. But oh, I should have made another card, gang. Okay, we're gonna save this because that's gonna happen. Okay, so next we have this piece that's tucked into the die, and these little holes, I don't know if you know that, they're for helping the paper to come out of the die. Very helpful. So we've got our sticker on the back, and so now we're gonna go ahead and peel that off. So sometimes there's a line, but I don't see it. So we're just gonna start at one end. And I'm a little careful when you've got a long, skinny die like this because you don't wanna accidentally tear something. So you'll notice I'm moving my take your pick tool along to try to help it stay intact. Okay, so now we have this Halloween look. So we're gonna bring this over, and I'm gonna start at one end, and it's going to just fit right on top of this cute little tag. Pink Halloween is so cute, right? Okay, like that. Okay, I think I do want to cut off the edge. just like that. But we're gonna leave this side going. So super, super cute little tag. Now I want to bring back in those same embellishments again. So if there's two things from this suite, if you were like, I'm not gonna invest in Halloween because I don't really do it, but if there's two things that I would recommend getting, it's the paper and then these little cutie patootie things. So this time we're just gonna use the black dots. So we're gonna add a couple black dots here and here because it just finishes off that little tag. And then there's this really beautiful ribbon that's part of this suite. So you can see it has that shine on the edges of the ribbon. I love when we have black ribbon in our collection. I think black ribbon goes with everything. So once again, we're gonna just add, oh, that's a pretty good first go. Well done. That's a good ribbon when it ties nicely like that. Well done, me. Okay, so we're going to stick that on as well using our dimensionals. And let me just skip ahead. So this time I used the 4x8 cello bag and I put in some Dunkaroos. Do you have Dunkaroos in the US? Australia? I don't know. They were the treat that I was never allowed to have as a kid, but it's cookies and icing. So then they dip their little, it's like almost like a shortbread cookie or a, I don't know, like I'm celiac, so I don't eat them, but I kind of feel like they're like a shortbread cookie, right? So you can see I've used the Designer Series paper to make a little topper, just 4x4, and then fold it in half. And there you can see the Halloween tree. And this is just such a fun one, right? Because then the kids could take it to school. You could put it in a lunchbox. Grandkids, right? A little treat that maybe the parents aren't super concerned about because nobody really loves their kids to be hopped up on sugar. So yeah, just a fun little way to create Halloween treats for friends and for your littles. So here you can see is that card that I designed. I love the crisp cantaloupe with the fresh freesia together. I think that's a nice Halloween color combo. And then there you can see is the background we've created with the tree. So if you're thinking to yourself, hey, Lindsay, why don't I have these products? You know what you need to do? You need to go to my online store and you can find all of these things there and more. Anything that you purchase that's above $25 Canadian, you are getting Stampin' Rewards. So as a reminder, you have two thought camps for your Stampin' Rewards. Some people like to spend as they earn. So the next order they place, they've got a couple of bucks sitting there, they just apply to their order. I am of a different variety. I like to save them up and have a whole bunch of rewards sitting there. So then when I buy something like the hot foil system, I got it for free. $219, free. So that is a fun way to be able to use your Stampin' Rewards. Save it up for something big that you like, and then it feels like you didn't pay anything. Girl math, it's free, right? So Stampin' Rewards are a great way to be able to get some of the products on your wish list for free. And remember, anybody who joins my team, you are going to not only get a great community with people who love to craft just like you, you also are going to be getting a minimum 20% discount on all your products. So if you're looking for ways to save, the smartest decision you can make is to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. There is no right or wrong way to be a demonstrator. Being a hobby demonstrator who likes to get their products at a discount, that is by far the smartest decision that a crafter can make. If you have questions about that, of course, reach out. I'm happy to help you with that. Thanks for tuning in for my video. It's great to see you. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the Web of Fun bundle as well as the Oh My Fright bundle, two online exclusives that just came available. Okay, friends, have an amazing weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Bye for now.